Hi everyone, how are you doing? So I'm again here in front of you. I just appeared for mobile automation tester interview a few days back with Deloitte, and I just wanted to share my experience with you guys because nowadays people are very keen knowing that what are the questions being asked in multiple organizations because the situation is very competitive. So with my experience, I just want to help few people just in case they want to uh, uh, crack the interview, right? So it was like the organization name was Deloitte, and the position was for the mobile automation tester. But not only for mobile, it was in general. The questions were being asked for the automation profile, comprises of both web and mobile both, and the slot of the year vacancy was 2 to 6 years. So let me start. So there were basically three rounds of interview that I had appeared the same day. The first round was technical, second round again technical, and third round was managerial round where the manager will be interviewing you, and it was kind of, you can say, stress test. So that I'll come to that later. Let's start with the first round. So how it is like, I the all the communication that has happened was through Gmail. So the video conferencing email that I got, I just click on the link. That was a Zoom link, and as soon as I clicked, I went into the main entrance area. So this Zoom application has this video conferencing privilege that you just connect to the main entrance area where all the HRs will be there, and they will be knowing that the vacancy is for what. So I just introduced myself and I just told that I have come up for the first level of interview. Then they forwarded me to the breakout area. Yep. So there is something called main entrance area, breakout area, just for people who have not used Zoom video conferencing. So it is like that. So I just entered the breakout area, and there was a person who has to take my first level of interview, right? So one thing about Deloitte that I had liked, that I like very much from the first day of my communication with the HRs, and then these people who took my interview, they are very very good people. They just I felt that they'll personally encourage you, and they just want you to be, you already feel like you are a Deloitte, right? When you will be my entire experience was like that. They are very good people. So the interview started like, tell me about yourself. So I just introduced myself, and like my name, my organization that I'm currently worked upon, and what is the experience I have, and small things that I felt that I should tell in the interview. I just did that. So it all concluded to some 1 minute or something. In 60 seconds I just completed all that, then we proceeded forward, right? So as I have, there are some bullet points I have made on the questions that are being asked. So first one was the crude principle. As I've already mentioned in my resume that I have done API testing. So there is this new concept in API, not new concept, basic concept in API testing, which is called crude. So they asked me about that. So one thing here I would want to suggest everybody, anything that they ask, right? Don't start with the definition. First, start with the experience that you had done, like in API testing. What exactly I did in API testing? I started with that example, and then I backtracked, and I told that this thing I done as part of create, update, delete, what and all you have done as part of API testing. Explain it through the your experience, right? So what it will do is, you can take the confidence of the interviewer. He'll be very content. First thing that he'll somewhere have that, have you actually worked on that, or do you only have the basic concept? So by quoting some real time example, you can tell them, yep, I have worked on this concept, and they'll be very content with that. Also you can give some you give some good examples, like which you feel that it's very unique, it's the USP of your profile or something like that. Not much, but you can share your real time experience. Don't start your explanation with definition. Okay, next one is that I since I had done, apart from regression automation, also in sprint automation, my day to day work with Agile, what I have done and all. So lot of questions, lot of but, why, when, how, why, and all these questions were being asked in the process of my automation that I was doing in my team. So questions on that. Another one is, how have you performed if you want to check the usability of the screen, like the color of the component, and then the fonts of the text font and all. How have you tested it? Have you used any automation tool for that? So I was like, I haven't tested it. The manual, there is a segregated manual team that tests the UI of the application. So then he was like, do you have any idea how they are performing? And I had that idea that there is a third party application that they are using for that. And also I've explained that when you go to the USB debugging screen of the mobile, you'll get a toggle button of pointer location. From that as well you can do something like that. So he was very very happy with that part, that even if I have not performed UI testing, still I have that idea. I just gave a wild guess of what it is like and how can you do that. And it was very, that was the game changer I think of this level of interview. So that was it. And yep, he asked about, have you performed accessibility testing? And since I have done only the basic of it as part of my regression, so I just have told him. Another one was, he just picked a key from my resume where it was written Selenium Grid. So he was like, why have you chosen Selenium Grid? What was the need of that? So I just told that it was the project's requirement. The project was like that. Because of that, I had to use it. I cannot use any other application. Also, this is free, and there was the business of the project that they don't want to spend any extra money on the automation tool. We cannot purchase a licensed one, so I have used so there are multiple factors that you have to when they'll ask that, why have you particularly chosen this technology, you have to explain multiple factors. And that is how, that will be the game changer. Because they will think that you have that thought process, right? And that is what makes you different. So that is what it is, Selenium Grid he asked. And also there is something I mentioned as DDMS tool, that I have used DDMS tool. So again he was like, how have you used DDMS tool for checking the memory leak and CPU utilization? So I just explained that, and he was again very very happy, and he told that these are all the new things that you have explored, and I think you have worked on automation on a large scale. So there it is. This is what I feel, that I had a different experience in Deloitte, because then and there you are getting feedbacks in your interview, and the moment I ended up my first round, I knew that I have cleared it, right? So this is how was the guy and the whole company's expression in front of me, right? And then after a few like half an hour, I got a confirmation and I just cleared the first round. And on the same day I moved to my second round, which is again uh, level of technical interview taken by the senior engineers, right? So first of all, it started like, I have seen your resume, it's very impressive, and the feedback that I've got from the first round, it's really nice. So it started like that, and I started explaining about me, the projects I have done, and all that, which took me around 60 seconds, like the previous one. And then he started with his questions. He was all asking about the general things, but then they had some meaning. That is what I felt. He told that, name few application that you are using right now and you are feeling that it's not good, like there are few things that needs to be corrected in this application, the technology that they are using, or maybe this is a very user, this is not at all a user friendly application. Can you name the few applications? So I just named it whatever I was using currently. Yes, and he was also like, why do you feel that it is not user friendly? What actually happened? All those things I have to tell. So I just told him. Then he picked that ADB keyword from my resume and he told that why are you using ADB commands? So I gave him all kind of things that then he was like, is ADB command, can we use it in iOS also? So all those things, right? And then he was like, which is the editor you have used, have you used Android Studio or not, all these things. And then he came to the on the projects that I had done on my previous or whatever I have done in my experience, right? So there were multiple questions on my projects, my roles and responsibility, how, why, when, all those things. And then he was mostly very keen into a project that I have done, I guess around 3 to 4 years. It was like 6 months I have invested my time on a AI project, and he was more keen on that. So I just explained that, and then he asked a general question that you have worked on so and so programming language. I worked on Java, Python, nowadays I'm working on Dart. So which do you feel is you feel that programming language is the best, and why? So I just explained that, right? So he was like that, and then it all concluded the second round. And around 1.5 hour later, right, I just got a confirmation that I've cleared my second round, and I went to the third round, which is, I was informed that this is the final round. Okay, so when you clear the first two technical round, you generally feel that somewhere you have made it, because technical round is, I guess, the toughest round that anybody encounters in their life, right? And then was the last interview, that is the managerial round. But for my experience, this was the this was the toughest round which I had faced, right? So also because I was low on energy, I was like tired of interviews after interviews, 2 and 3 hours of interview. Another thing was, this interview was kind of stress test. So there was this manager, and he was asking question. He started with a general perspective questions, but then it later came on, why do you want to do that, why not this and why not that? So it was like he was somewhere checking your confidence, and also how you can handle stress, because he was causing me stress and he was asking that kind of questions that was kind of backfiring me. So overall it was like that. So first of all, he what he did is, he shared my he opened my resume and he shared his screen, and then he was like, tell me, go through your resume once again and tell me what are the changes that you want to make in your resume. And this question was not at all expected in any of the interview. I, from my point of view, I thought that I have made the best resume, and this is what I've got feedback in the second round, that your resume is very impressive, and I was very happy. But in the third round, I was like, tell me, if you want to make certain changes in your resume, certain correction, what would you make? So then I went through the my resume again and again, again and again. I was trying. I found some things, but that was mostly because some things, bullet points and all. But then he focused on few things. He was checking the consistency in my resume, consistency of the words of the sentence that I have used, the table, somewhere the tables were there, somewhere the fonts was different. So it was like that kind of things, right? And then there was a debate on performance testing. I would call it a debate, because uh, in QA, there is nothing that is defined when it calls to performance testing. So in my perspective it would be different, in someone else's perspective it would be different. So there were lot of discussions on that, and then EBA response, accessibility testing. And then he also asked me a question ki, nowadays what are the kind of application that you are using, and why do you why are you using that? Have you ever tried to find out that what are the technology, what is the technology that they are being used, and are you really keen about any new technology that is coming up? Are you doing something, what are you doing something different from the normal daily work that you are performing? So all those things, it was there. And mostly I personally feel that the manager already knew that the girl, she is really good in technical. So the agenda was not to check my technical, because that has already been checked. So he was somewhere checking my confidence, and he was somewhere checking, it was kind of test, right? So it was like that. So this is my, I think I made a long, very long video, but bear with me. I'll try to correct this kind of things. I'll make a short video nowadays. But since I'm new to all this video making, bear with me for a few days. So guys, this was all about it. Wish me luck. Let's see what happens. The results are still under process. And meanwhile, if anybody has any question, please feel free to either you in the comment section you can comment it out, or in the Facebook you can search for Dream for Automation. You will see a group name called Automation Studio. That is from there you can contact me, or maybe you can ask any other questions or something like that. Please feel free, and like, comment, or subscribe. Thank you so much, guys. Yep, and the last but not the least, certain tips that I've already shared in this session. And also I want to share a tip that whatever you are writing in the resume, please go through it. Please read your resume 2 to 3 times before attending any interview, because mostly I felt that all the questions were being derived from my resume content itself. Right? Okay. Bye bye.